finisher he's becoming.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh! That's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.
Another countdown. Here we go. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 5 Reasons Post Up Post-Game Show. I'm your host, Gabriel Cartagena, for today, as Royal Shepherd is doing load management. We got my man, Ricky J. Mark, and my man, Jonathan Ramlakan with me. Fellas, I understand this is not what we intended to be celebrating a win against the Detroit Pistons with the skeletal system of their roster, but here we are. What a game to ultimately end up winning. Are you guys excited about this? Because I'm honestly gushing about the fact that they were able to close this out given the circumstances. I know it's the Pistons, but Ricky, we'll go to you here. Are you happy with this win?
I'm pleased, honestly. I mean, happy. Yeah, I'm always going to be happy with a win because a win is a win, to quote a certain Bulls writer in the network. But look, hey, I think we can start to feel really confident in some of the others on this team, the Max Struses, the not so much Tyler Hero because we knew what he was going to be about, but the Gabe Vincents, and well, unfortunately, Dedmon left early, but you have to think he was going to give you something productive this evening. And yeah, I said this in the pregame. 20 games or 20 wins before Christmas is a good thing, especially considering what it puts you on pace for. I think Ethan said in pregame that it was 51 to 52 wins. Ramlakan, you were there. I think that was the case. Mm-hmm. Look, given everything that happened tonight, to pull off a win, especially when you consider how this schedule is going to be looking second half of the season, it's a good night to be a Heat fan.
Yeah, it is indeed. And Ricky, I'm happy because you always keep it realistic. I'm happy that you also are enthused by this win. Jonathan, tell me your thoughts on this win, because we're kind of talking about it beforehand. Celebrating a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle Tucker saying, "What's up, Jonathan, Gad, and Ricky? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays.
Joyous Kwanzaa, Michelle.
Everything. Happy Kwanzaa, everything. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the Heat Christmas, getting a win for Christmas. But man, this game was absolutely exciting, right? It's not a game that you couldn't get excited for, given the situation, right? We lose Dedmon in the first quarter, and after that, I mean, Trey Lyles just starts going off like he's prime Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to quote Royal. I think he tweeted that. But man, he was going off, and then fourth quarter, Heat go down 5. And from there, Kyle Lowry just was like, all right, I'm going to have to do this myself. Starts off by getting a little spin move and one, putting Jackson in the spin cycle, getting that and one. Gets another drive to the basket, gets the layup, hits a 3, starts getting us in, gets the game close. And then closing it out, Tyler Hero picks up the ball off of a broken play, dribbles down over 2 players, fading away, falling out of bounds, hits a beautiful clutch 3 with around 35 seconds to go, I want to say. Maybe a little bit more than that. Heat get the ball back after Detroit ties it up, and then Max Strus with a beautiful 3. Somebody in his face, tired legs and all, still able to knock down the 3. Heat close it out. The final rebound of the game goes to Udonis Haslem. We got meaningful Udonis minutes tonight. It was a fun game overall. This game did not have, any reason to be as fun as it was tonight. But, man, we got a lot of fun things tonight. We saw a double charge where both UD and Kyle Lowry took the charge together.
This legendary play, right? Like, I stood up. This is when you know you're a Heat fan, right? I don't know about your guys' reaction, but, like, when I saw that play, I stood up on top of my couch and I started pumping my fist like crazy, because that's like, we're just accustomed, we're trained to just think, holy shit, they did the thing, right? And that's something like, they're literally like 2 bowling pins in front of each other getting knocked over by Trey Lyles. Legendary. And of course it's from Kyle Lowry, the new yet old guy, and you have UD, the fucking, oh my God, this is what an unbelievable play to kind of cap off, an unbelievable experience to watch. And I know it sounds crazy that we're celebrating this, right? It was the Pistons. Like, everyone was saying, oh, we should blow this team out. We were 11.5 point favorites tonight. But one of the few nights, I don't really care. Won the game given the circumstances. Before we get to some individual performances here, I do want to get to the primary sponsor of the Post Up show, our great friend Lynette from Aggressive Insurance. So, Lynette, if you have any insurance needs, make sure you go ahead and give her a call. She's probably going to be getting a ton of calls. South Florida, there's obviously a lot of people in here in the holiday season. So make sure if you have any insurance issues, give Lynette a call, 954-581-8800, 954-581-8800. Always down to talk some Heat, always down to talk some insurance. Give her a call.
And she also will give you a free vacation voucher if you call her, mention 5 Reasons Sports. So mention that. She'll do an overview for you. She does have to make sure she takes care of you real well, and look out for that mention 5 Reasons Sports as well. And we do want to also thank the other sponsor of the 5 Reason post-game show, which is cptflorida.com. cptflorida.com is all your technological IT and cloud services, right? Make sure you go to cpt-florida.com to see everything that they do for you. Obviously, I can't tell you about it all right now because they do so much, right? Anything when it comes to your business, taking care of your IT needs, your cloud services needs, anything that your technologically, sound needs for, they'll take care of you, right? For anybody else, it's hard for you to go and do that yourself. So don't rely on yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where your information is compromised. You don't want that to happen in a space where it's very easy for you to lose your information. So let CPT of South Florida will take care of you. Give them a call at 954-963-2775, and they'll take care of all your IT and cloud needs. Back to you, Gad.
Oh, all right. Wait, so Gad, one more thing. Hold on, Gad. You see, to kind of build on what you said, Ramlakan, look, for those of you that have been aware of what's going on in the world, we're in the middle of a pandemic, meaning a lot of people are working from home and a lot of people are starting their businesses from home. So you saw CPT right there? They will hook you up remotely. That's all I'm saying. You fill in the blanks, viewers, okay? Just do that. Sorry, Gad, go ahead. Do you think? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, but before I get to this dono, we even have a player from the Heat who's going to be working home shortly in about 23 days, but that's a conversation for later on in the stream. Somebody, God. Thank you for the $2 dono. Dusted off UD, had more points than $90 million Duncan. So we'll get to the elephant in the room later on in the show. It's happy times right now, right? We ended up winning the game. We got the win that we needed. I want to give credit to UD before I give credit or take credit from anybody else. Right. So, Jonathan, we'll start with you here. UD, we got winning minutes from UD. I jokingly said he should close the game in one of the group chats that I'm in, and he actually closed, and we ended up winning. I think he might have kind of been an X factor because he was just in the right place. That's all we needed. We had Yurt, who was sometimes not in the right place, and it was really hurting this team down the stretch. So, what did you see from UD? I don't really know what other questions to ask because I don't think it's going to be a common theme. But if Dedmon's out, is UD going to be the backup 5?
I think we're definitely going to see more UD minutes just purely out of necessity. You're already down Bam Adebayo, right? You lost PJ Tucker. You lose Markieff Morris. You lose Jimmy Butler, who sometimes can play the 4, right? Maybe you play him in a 4 in a tight situation. And then you lose PJ Tucker. I'm not sure if I mentioned him already. Oh, Dwayne Dedmon tonight. You lose Dwayne Dedmon as well. So now you're pretty much down off your whole power rotation on your bigs. So you're going to have to see UD minutes. It's going to have to be pretty much a rotation of, Omer Yurtseven, Udonis Haslem, and KZ Okpala. And I feel bad that I have to sandwich UD between those two names, but that's probably what it's going to be as far as our big man rotation. And to your point, he gave us effective minutes tonight, and he absolutely was an X factor, right? 7 points in the third quarter. Nobody saw that coming, and he was even able to, get an and one. He had a little nice putback, and we saw UD in isolation. We saw UD in the post. He said everybody get out of his way. He hit his little jump shot that's so unique to UD, and it worked, right? It worked, and it was great. And at the end of the game, when you needed somebody just to not be a negative, right? Like you said, when Yurt was being a negative, you needed somebody there just to hold the fort down. UD is able to do that for a short period of time, and he closed the game off. Like I said, he finished the game. The last rebound of the whole game was UD's. And, it's very fitting for the all-time leader in rebounds for the Miami Heat to get that last rebound. So great minutes from UD tonight, right? It's not something you can do for a long period of time. Detroit was out there without their big man too, out in Isaiah Stewart. So it's not like they had their prime big. He was going up against Trey Lyles, who isn't, the most proficient big man given, we've seen his career night to night against us. That's not his typical night. And if we see UD against bigger bigs, maybe like a Jonas Valanciunas or, somebody of that sort, you don't want to play him against them for too long.
No, oh my gosh.
I love what I saw from him tonight.
Give me nightmares. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, like you're saying, man, like I love what I saw from him tonight, but you just can't get that for too much minutes. Like you just can't put that much stress on UD's body pretty much.
Yeah. Credit to Michelle Tucker's comment here. This is the first thing I wanted to point out before we go to Ricky here. Hopefully Dwayne Dedmon is okay, because that injury, it was, I believe, non-contact. That's never, Ricky, you said it first. As soon as I said in the chat, what is it?
It's never good.
Never good. Never good. And obviously, like, we know everyone here, everyone in Heat Nation, we all love Dwayne Dedmon. We want to see a healthy Dwayne Dedmon. He plays with an edge, a mean streak that no one on this team really replicates that often, right? He does it at all times when he's on the floor, for better or for worse. If it's because he's getting a moving screen, whatever. We need Dwayne Dedmon kind of to get to where we want to go. So hopefully Dwayne Dedmon's all right. But Ricky, in terms of not just UD, basically just the five as a whole, if Dwayne Dedmon has to miss a few games and PJ Tucker's not back, let's say for like 5 more games, how do you see the Heat attacking this backup 5 or the starting 5 rotation?
Well, I think we have a brand new starting 5, or not starting, but I think we have a brand new quote unquote power rotation, and that's Omer Yurtseven, KZ Okpala, and Udonis Haslem. I mean, Yurtseven had 12 rebounds tonight, I think. I was surprised to see that. That was amusing. But as I think one of you may have mentioned in previous or in prior post-game shows, he seems to inhale rebounds at times. That this is going to be a show and prove moment for him. I mean, this is one of those moments where, without being too punny, this is where a lot of these guys at the end of the bench are going to be thrown into the fire. And if they survive, then they truly are a member of the Miami Heat. I did not do that on purpose. Well, there you go. We might have to see what he's capable of as well. So that's where it's at right now. Really, I hope to see this ragtag group of big guys survive a little bit. Hopefully Udonis Haslem can pretend like it's 2006 and perform the way he did against the Pistons tonight, because I felt like it was 15 years ago when he was doing what he did. So we'll see what happens. Like I told a lot of Heat fans who I'm sure ignored me in the pregame before we went to break, look, don't get terribly high and don't get too low if the Pistons were going to lose. This is a moment. This is just a moment right now where we're going to be getting a little bit of everything, good and bad, but the future is much more bright than it would have been otherwise.
It's just nice to see. Like, this is a situation I like to compare Heat teams to the previous year, right? This is a situation where I feel like if you saw this many injuries on last year's team, they're not winning this game. Doomed. I don't care. Like, this team, just something about them mentality-wise just feels different. I think that's one thing. From 1 through 17, all the two-way guys and whatever it may be, actually 16 because we don't have a 15th guy right now, that something just feels different. And I think part of the reason why that may be is Kyle Lowry. So whoever wants to take Kyle Lowry first, it wasn't a perfect game from him to start, but time and time again, I'm starting to see it, especially when we need these Kyle Lowry moments. We seem to get them. So actually, Ricky, I guess I'll go to you here. Is it a Christmas miracle?
We have a Christmas miracle, it seems like.
Okay, so it looks like the man is awaking from hibernation. We might have a special guest tonight. So if Adam Barai would like to come to the stage, that would be welcome. Miami Grill. Whoa! And he's not in Boston. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
This is not Miami Grill, my friend. This is Super Bowl 52. Come on, live in Miami, baby.
Sorry, I watched the Nemanja Bjelica play for about 3 months. I've been accustomed.
All right, fair enough. How are we doing? Y'all look depressed as hell.
No, we're doing great.
I'm good.
I'm ecstatic, Adam. I'm literally trying to hold myself down because I've been screaming for the last hour because, hey, your boy Tyler Hero, he did unspeakable things to the Detroit Pistons for 3 quarters tonight. So what did you see? What did you see from Hero, and then for the rest of the game?
Oh, he looked fantastic. I really enjoyed his game today. He got complacent.
Okay, so HM has a dono, so we will stop.
I got muted.
And read the dono. Thank you, HM, for the dono. Struce or Caleb Martin. Is that where we're headed with this rotation once everyone returns? Will Spo shorten the rotation as always? Vic, Tyler, Morris, Martin, Dedmon, Struce, and Gabe. Who is odd man or men out? You kind of stole my question that I wanted to ask at the end of the show. Obviously, getting too high or too low. You did omit Duncan there, but I guess round table. Are we going Strus or Caleb Martin right now? I feel like it has to be Strus. Based on what we've seen.
It's matchup dependent, in my opinion. If you need that extra wing defender, you call upon Caleb Martin, and if you need the extra shooting, it's Max Strus. I think it's really matchup dependent.
Interesting. Ricky?
Yeah, I agree. I think right now, given what you need out of this team, you need guys that can shoot. You need guys not only that can shoot, but that can actually make jumpers, as opposed to going 0 for 6. I'm sure I'll be getting a knock at my door from someone as a result of that comment, but it is what it is. Look, Max Strus is the kind of player that did what he did. I mean, just look at what he did in the fourth quarter tonight. It might have been nothing, but guess what? Who hit ultimately the game-winning jumper? It was him. I mean, there's something about the way he plays, his fearlessness in terms of doing that, his ability to not get rattled by anything, really. I mean, he doesn't make excuses. He just goes out and produces, and there's more to him than a three-point shot, as we've seen. So I think it might end up being Strus more, but as we've seen, there might be some interchangeability between the roles. The positions. You might see both of them on the floor in some weird, funky lineup.
I see that. Adam, sorry for cutting you off there. Just know HM takes precedent over pretty much anything when I'm speaking on this.
Whatever.
Strus or Caleb, and then back to your original point.
That's such an unfair question because I don't think it's Strus or Caleb. I think it's Strus and Caleb. It should. The question is it Caleb or KZ? That's the real question.
It's an easy
pretty
one.
Clearly Caleb. So I don't think Strus playing or not playing has anything to do with Caleb returning. If anything, it'll be Marcus Garrett and KZ. Combination of those two, their minutes going down to 0. Maybe Gabe takes a few minutes off for Caleb to return. But I don't think it affects Strus at all. Strus should be playing 20 minutes a night easy now.
Okay. I like that. I think Strus, obviously it's recency bias or whatever, but he's earning a role. Caleb's earned himself a role. I think Gabe's earned himself a role. Until Depot comes back, I think there could be a shuffling of minutes going on for sure. So Adam, your thoughts on the game, and then Tyler Hero. We'll get you started on the Tyler Hero conversation.
What a stupid game. This is such a dumb game. I don't know. Tyler played amazing. I loved every bit except for the 3 minutes that he had in the third quarter where he was pretty complacent. He was just sitting in the corner. I realized that Spo does this thing where he keeps him out until the last 3 minutes of either the first and the third quarter, and then he just plays them up till the end of the half or the end of the game, which is a good move in terms of getting Tyler going, getting him going, getting a shot going, getting whatever it is, his rhythm, but it will tire him out in certain quarters. So like in the second quarter of today's game, by the end of it, Tyler was starting to slow down. By the fourth quarter, Tyler was starting to slow down. If it weren't for that Hail Mary of a shot in the fourth quarter, we would be talking about Tyler in a much different light, I think, as a guy that just got really tired and he just couldn't produce at the end. So if it weren't for that three-pointer at the end of the game, who knows what we'd be saying. But Tyler, nonetheless, 29 points in 33 minutes. Great game. Everyone else was just Strus. Yeah, great game from Strus. I expect this now. 5 of 11 from 3. I mean, he's been on fire for the last 10 games.
You remind me of a player that was on a minimum that the Heat used to have.
Poor man Duncan. Yes.
Rich, but whatever. Jonathan, Tyler Hero. I think we were a little less measured in the way that we were talking about him. But give me your thoughts on Tyler Hero tonight. Especially, let's just focus in on that last shot, right? Let's celebrate the glory a little bit. Tell me your thoughts on Hero.
I mean, when it came to the shot, I was downstairs making some tea, watching the game on my phone, and we saw the play, right? Kyle Lowry Udonis set a screen for Kyle Lowry. He kind of pitched the ball out. Udonis kind of got caught up in the screen, so he wasn't able to get the ball. Hero picks the ball up, and he goes, and he shoots that ball, and he makes a shot. And I just started jumping around like Norris Cole when Ray Allen shoots that shot from the corner. Like, first of all, that was just an amazing shot. For him to be falling out of bounds over 2 players, like that's the stuff you just do on 2K with the 3-point rating to 100% just to have fun and make that shot. Like, you don't do that in real life. And he actually ended up making the shot. And, coach, give credit to him early in the game because he started just by getting to the free throw line, right? His first 4 shots were actually free throws before he got his first field goal. So he got himself in rhythm by just getting easy shots at the free throw. And then from there, he was pretty efficient for most of the night. Like Adam said, there was a little stretch where he was kind of complacent. He was just taking fadeaway jumpers. I love Hero's ability to hit those shots, but I don't want that to be the primary, offense, right? I don't want Hero's fadeaway jumpers to be the primary offense. But other than that, man, absolutely phenomenal all night long. He came out strong in the fourth quarter, closed it out, finished with, I think, above 30 for the night. So you can't ask for more for Tyler Hero. He's doing phenomenal things. He is taking that step. He's doing it on all 3 levels. And, I mean, you don't win this game without him. That 3 pretty much saved us. It bailed us out. It was a bailout 3. And, as Paul George would say, it's a bad shot, but he made it.
Great players.
Paul George
make bad
takes
shots
those shots
routinely.
now.
That's all I'm going to say. So, Ricky, we'll go to you here. I have a specific question for you because you being the most measured person here probably. There was a conversation earlier on Twitter today that had 4 guards listed, all of which you can argue where Tyler Hero fits in that mix, whatever. It was Darius Garland, Fred VanVleet, Drew Holiday, and Tyler Hero. Those 4 guards in terms of the all-star conversation, right? I think we had some talks in our threads or whatever. Those guys, I don't pay too much close attention to them, but they've been playing really, really well. Do you think tonight might have been Tyler Hero's all-star moment where he kind of gets into that conversation a little more aggressively? Because it feels like he's at the bottom of that conversation. Do you think that might swing the pendulum just a little bit, get him maybe closer to like the top 7 or 8 in the East?
So me, based on that poll, I have him 3rd after Holiday and Garland. I can understand why somebody might want to keep Holiday lower or whatever, but the thing is, Tyler's been doing this kind of thing all season. The Cavs have been weird this year. I mean, I was watching ESPN earlier today, and I think they ran a prediction stat or something like that where it says that they have an actual chance at winning the conference. Now, look, it's December. I'm not going to sit here and say the Cavs got a shot like that, but hey, crazier things have happened. I think people are going to like Fred VanVleet, not just because he's good, but because they recognize the name a lot more. And the thing is, honestly, I don't view that as an indictment on Hero. I think it's just the Cavs are having a pretty impressive season thus far, and you have Drew Holiday that's with the Bucks, and the fact that they're the defending champions and are kind of starting to round into form, even though they've had some issues with 500 ball lately. I think he had like 27 and 5 or something like that.
He had 40 the other night.
There you go. Yeah, I was thinking about the game either before or after that. But yeah, Tyler Hero deserves to be in the conversation. But honestly, right now, given how deep, like how steep a hill he has to climb for that, it's not going to be that many syllables in the conversation. Like it's just the way at least the way I see it right now. I don't see that happening just yet.
That's fair.
But damn, though, like 20 and 13, that's not bad. That's worth consideration, especially with
he's a big
those winning
why.
purists.
He's a really big reason why. So obviously, we love what we've seen from Tyler Hero. Like tonight was another night where, I mean, listen, even if he doesn't get the All-Star nod, he's playing like an All-Star-ish level player, and that's really what this Heat team needs because you have your 3rd All-Star. You could say Kyle Lowry's playing like a 4th All-Star at times as well. So, I mean, the talent is there for this team to kind of get to where they want to go. Adam, I'm going to go to you here. Kyle Lowry. Oh, before let's get to some donuts real quick. Alex Campbell, remember when people actually wanted to trade Hero for Sexton?
Not me.
We'll read another HM comment before we get to Adam here. How much longer will Tyler be comfortable coming off of the bench? I know that he made comments about it in the past. It's clearly a long-term goal. Adam, let you answer that one.
On which one?
Hero coming off the bench. You think that's going to be an issue going forward or no?
Not for Tyler. I mean, I don't. He's winning awards. He will win awards. He'll get recognition. He's going to be in the All-Star conversation somehow. Like he'll be in the conversation out of default.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Just based off of the fact that Jimmy, Bam, they're not available. A lot of guys aren't there. So if the All-Star voters do not take games played into account, then Tyler has a shot. He does. You're a 3 seed in the East, 2 seed in the East. Tyler absolutely has a shot because there's no way the 2 or the 3 seed doesn't have an all-star. So if there is going to be one from the Heat and they do take games played in account, it has to be Tyler. So by default, he will be in that conversation. So I don't think Tyler will complain about not starting. I do think if he isn't starting by not next season, but by the season after, if he's still on the team when he has his new contract, then I would start to complain if I were him. But for this year, if the Heat team succeeds, then there shouldn't be any complaining.
Interesting that you give it such a long period of time. I feel like he's starting by the playoffs. Honestly, maybe it's because I just think there's some moves coming, whatever it may be. But I just feel like
Tyler want one move to happen for that to start.
Well, we can talk about it in 23 days if I'm being completely honest with you. But like, even if that move or whatever move it is that I may want to happen does not happen, right? I just think come playoff time, you got to put the best players on the floor for as many minutes. And I understand minutes don't mean all that, like starting doesn't mean all that much. It's closing that matters. But I mean, Hero's just better.
Finished.
He's just better.
I mean, where was that talk though with Goran? Goran was pretty good for the team, and he wasn't starting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not saying that Spo will do what I want to say because obviously Spo knows more. But I'm just saying in terms of, I just think he probably will end up fitting better in terms of the playoff skill set. Now we can have our scruples about Duncan, the playoff player. That's a conversation I want to have in probably about like 15 minutes or so. But I do want to heap some praise on Kyle Lowry before we get to that whole conversation. So, Jonathan, let's go to Lowry here. It wasn't a perfect game, but what did you see from him?
I mean, starting off with what he did in the clutch, right? That was the most important part of the game. The Heat were down 5 with about 2.5 to go, and Kyle Lowry just pretty much said it was time to go. Like I said, he hit the and one. He hit, I think it was 7 points in a row, and he was a reason that the Tyler Hero shot mattered, right? That shot wouldn't have mattered if the Heat were down 8, if the Heat were down 5. No, but the Heat were down 2, and he hit that shot because Kyle Lowry brought that game close. But every other part of this game, I mean, even during that stretch, he drew a charge, right? And I think there was 2 or 3 charges that he drew tonight. So the man on defense was just a menace, just stepping in front of everybody. Assist-wise, he was finding people in their spots, making the hockey assists, doing everything he had to. He was the glue guy for tonight, right? When you lose somebody like Dwayne Dedmon, you lose somebody that just holds the team together. You lose a rock, right? You lose just a steady presence. And when you lose a steady presence, you need other steady presences to step up. UD came in and kind of replaced that a little bit, but Kyle Lowry was the main reason, we continued that forward. And even with 3 fouls in the first half, Coach Spo left him in, allowed him to play forward, trusted him enough to stay in the game and stay out of foul trouble. And he did just that, led us to a win tonight. So great game from Kyle Lowry. I think if his scoring was up, you'd probably look at an all-star, but a little bit more, but I don't think he's scoring enough. But his assist numbers have just been absolutely insane. Like, I think all time on assists per game, he's on track right now, third, about 8.6, right? So pretty, great job from him. He actually have a true point guard and can't ask for more than that.
Can't ask for more than that at all. Got what we wanted from Lowry tonight. The charges is what's going on in the comments, right? People talking about the charges. Is it crazy that we have a player, and I guess maybe he's been doing this in Toronto. Honestly, I don't give a shit enough about them in the past to care all that much. We'll get to Samurai Radio's Dono in a little bit. Give it some time. He's disrespectful. But anywho, Ricky, is it crazy that Kyle Lowry can take over a basketball game with charges?
No, because we're talking about huge defensive plays that could swing the balance of an entire game in a matter of seconds. You're talking about a situation that could turn a potential 4 or 5 point swing into a 7-point lead for an opposing team or the home team, depending on which team you're rooting for. I think Kyle Lowry, what needs to be said about Kyle Lowry is that I think you could argue that his play tonight is what made Gabe Vincent's, Max Strus's, and Tyler Hero's play a lot more possible. Because when you look at the fact that Kyle Lowry was doing what he was doing, especially in the fourth quarter, it prevented the Pistons defense from cluing in on Tyler Hero. I know a lot of times that we like to speculate that if Tyler Hero is one of the only guys left on the team as a result of injuries, he's going for 40 or 50 tonight. But realistically, that's not what happens when the entire defense knows, oh, he's not like the type of player that's like a triple-double threat. He gets most of his stuff through scoring. That's his game. If we take that away from him, there it is. So I think because Kyle Lowry's penetration, his point guard play made it possible for some of the other guys to inflate their scoring and their offensive contribution in general. It made it easier for Tyler Hero to do what he did. And it made it easier for Tyler Hero to become the kind of player. I think because of the age in the NBA that we are right now, we are in the age still of the scoring point guard, meaning the point guard tends to be the leading scorer or the focal point of the offense or whatever. But I really hope we don't lose sight of the fact that point guards like Kyle Lowry and even Chris Paul especially are so important to the development of a team. Just look at what Chris Paul did to Phoenix. We knew what Devin Booker was.
Oh, here
we kind of knew what I forgot his name because baby hands. I've been calling him baby hands since the playoffs. Ayton, yeah. We saw what Ayton was kind of becoming, but once Chris Paul showed up and pretty much elevated them as a team, they got all the way to the finals, And I'm not saying that the same thing is necessarily going to happen here, but I think just going back ultimately to Kyle Lowry, his play is what made things happen for a lot of the players on this team. And to a certain extent, it's allowed them to grow into who they are as players. And it has allowed them to play within themselves in a way that has benefited this team throughout this stretch and has kept Miami afloat to the tune of a 20-13 record going into Christmas.
This is true. It's funny that you mentioned the Chris Paul comparison because a few streams ago, we did mention that it was only a matter of time before Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul would start to become compared in terms of the way that they elevate teams. So let's get to Kai's dono here. He said something about the Heat. Hashtag 19 and 15 still exists in my heart. Hashtag culture minutes. Hashtag Ricky J. France. You are wrong, Kai. I hate to break it to you. Sorry about that. Thanks for the money, though. Hope the Dolphins do well. Somebody, $2 dono. Minimum contract, Gabe and Max closing games over Duncan. So I wanted
that elephant is knocking on the door
for as long as possible. But here we are. I wanted to stay positive. We got 30 minutes of positivity out of this. This is the elephant in the room. Is this indicative? And Adam, I'll start with you here. Is Duncan's lack of closing minutes in the fourth, is this indicative of something that you might see moving forward, or is this still you think Spo is going to try to get Duncan out of this stretch?
When has he ever closed games?
He's had much more ability to do so than this.
Sure,
I feel like their lack of closing games before was there was really not that many other options on the bench as a shooting perspective. Now you have Gabe, now you have Strus. So is his skill set all that much necessary when closing is the question.
But beforehand, when his skill set was necessary for the production of the team, when he was averaging 40% from three, he still wasn't closing games. Now he's not averaging 40 to 45% from three, and you have alternatives. That's probably the worst combination that you could have if you were a Duncan Robinson supporter, because when he got signed, there was a split front office view on Duncan. And
turn my volume up real quick.
If you take that into account and you take into who is in that front office, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who would be the first one to go in a scenario where they want to try to improve this roster, or if they fail to exceed expectations and they need to find a possible scapegoat. It's not hard to look. You don't have to look too far. With Duncan, I do think he'll start to turn it around. He'll start to play better. He was playing better at some point, but I think with the emergence of Max Strus more and more, and the fact that Max keeps finishing games, that's the most important part. Not the fact that he's replicating what Duncan did, but the fact that he's finishing games is more indicative that Duncan might not have a spot on this team for very much longer. Now, is that this season? Who knows? Maybe the guys in the front office think that this team is enough, and we just need to wait for the guys that are out to come back, and they'll have a whole complete team. But if the guys in the front office don't view that what they have is enough, and that is accounting for Duncan Robinson, then he'll clearly be the one to go out first. Mm-hmm. Not because of his lack of shooting ability this season, but because there are guys that are playing better than him, and they're on minimum contracts, and they're finishing games before him.
Yeah, look at Max Strus the last 4 games dating back to December 17th against Orlando. 32-7, 24-4, 18-7-4, 26-6-1, right? Now, as Adam said, it's more than just the shooting, but just for the sake of discussion, let's look at his shooting. He was 8 for 11 from 3, 4 for 11 from 3, 4 for 12 from 3, 5 for 11 for 3. Took 15, 16, 15, and 18 shots in the last 4 games, counting tonight. Max Strus is having the stretch of his career right now. The man has scored more than 20 points 3 of the last 4 games. The one game being an 18-7-4 game, which arguably was, you could maybe argue that it was more complete than the purely scoring games from before. It's getting kind of interesting because he's, at least for right now, he's bringing you a lot of what Duncan was already supposed to give you. And my position has always been that Duncan's a one-dimensional guy. And if that shot ain't falling and he's not really giving you much else, compared to a guy like Max Strus, who I've said for a while now, if he's able to develop a three-point shot at least comparable to what Duncan's been able to do at Miami, it could be curtains for Duncan, because Max Strus does more than just shoot the ball, attacks the basket sometimes. Defense is, tries hard, right? But he's not getting, I don't think he's getting bullied in the paint, or he's not just standing there.
No, he's still.
Well, I've seen worse. I've seen worse.
He's comparable to Kendrick Nunn defensively. If I had to give a off ball, it's not pretty. But
pre or post COVID, either way it's bad. But whatever. So at this point, I think Spo, and I'm glad to have seen it. And I know it's controversial to some people. I'm glad to have seen that. Yeah, okay, you don't want to run him into the ground or anything, but Spo realized that the last 4 games, Max Strus has been the guy you've depended on, both in regular games and on those big national TV important games. And he's like, you know what? Okay, there you go. Because we've been going to the well with Duncan all season, and he's had a couple moments there, here and there, but Strus apparently appears to be more consistent.
Ricky, it's funny you mentioned that, because Spo is Duncan's biggest supporter. And if Spo is finding alternative options to Duncan, Duncan may have lost his biggest supporter.
Duncan needs to call CPT South Florida for his work at home business. Let me tell you that much.
He also needs some insurance for his career.
There you go. Aggressive insurance. Call the right number. I want to get to that question. Who's a better defender, Strus and Duncan? We talked about it on the last stream. It's very clearly Duncan. This isn't a question to me. Duncan at worst is an average defender. It's just he sometimes takes on assignments that are way too much for him, and he's more of a help defender anyways. But he is being outplayed by Strus very, very badly right now.
People, it's 1S. It's 1S. Y'all like him? Y'all like him so much? Spell his last name right. Yeah, I'm that guy. There you go.
Strus. So, Jonathan, we haven't gotten your thoughts on this. I'll just shift the conversation a little bit. Do you think Duncan, if he is on the team, should be starting by playoff time?
Well, first of all, make sure you guys get your chairs at vertigear.com. Of course, I got mine in heat color. Adam would have his, but he's in a different place right now. But just pretend he has one behind him. But yeah, go to vertigear.com.
What are you talking about? This is Vertigear homemade.
Oh, so he does have Vertigear, bet. So yeah, so he got a Vertigear chair behind him. Apparently, I guess that's the new brand. It's the Old Man 460. So just look for that one when you get to vertigear.com. But yeah, I don't think we see him start during, come playoff times. I think it's going to be Hero, right? And if Max Strus continues the trajectory that he's on, and Duncan continues to not hit just at least wide open shots in key moments, shots where you see everybody in the crowd, you see players on the bench raising their hands, looking to celebrate a Duncan 3, and then they're let down, just like we are, right? Everybody's let down. Us, the players, and Coach Spo.
Deflating.
It's
so
like,
deflating.
Perfect word for it. It's absolutely deflating. And then you have somebody like Max Strus who's playing with intent, right? He's playing, trying to do as much as he can. Like you said, he's not the best defensively, but he's doing so much on offense. Not only is he able to shoot the three, but he's doing so much more at the rim, right? Them holes are too wide open for real. They are wide open. But he's so like there's so many times where you see Max Strus takes a backs cut and he's able to get the ball because of that quick first step. So he uses that overplaying of the defense to actually beat them, something that Duncan should do more, but he doesn't. And we see that from Max Strus. I think we could see something happen, right? And obviously this is not a high percentage, but we could see Tyler Hero start and we could see Max Strus be the guy come off of the bench because I feel right now this season, he's more ignitable than Duncan just this season.
Microwave.
There you go.
Jonathan I think Strus is his I don't want to call it his ceiling, but I think he has the makings of a microwave type of player, like a Vinnie Johnson type, coming off the bench and giving you spot points and a little bit of whatever it is that you need. I think he would be ideal in that position. Now, if Victor Oladipo comes back healthy, that just adds even more depth to your guard rotation in the long run. I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but ultimately, hey, I mean, if Strus continues this trend and he continues to grow and he stays healthy and all that other stuff, man, sky's the limit for the depth. Oh, there's that depth again.
The depth. Sorry, I just had to look up Vinnie Johnson. So he actually is a former Detroit Piston, played for the Detroit Pistons. He was nicknamed the Microwave. There you go.
Oh.
There you have it.
Oh my
The
God.
youth nowadays, huh, Ricky?
It's killing me. I don't even know what to do anymore.
I'm just I there's only so much NBA films that I can watch. But my biggest frustration with Duncan is just watching his off-ball movement. If we want to air out frustrations right now, I watched him exclusively in the third quarter when he was on the floor. It was just there was a whole lot of just stand in the corner and kind of just walk around and let other actions happen, whatever. And if he was setting a screen, it was kind of a half-ass screen, not trying to make contact, whatever it may be. It's just those types of moments where it's feast or famine for him, and there's never any in between. There's never any just average Duncan games at this point, right? It feels like there's either a really, really good game or a really, really bad game. The Heat, I feel like with how good this team is, you don't need that type of variance. You need someone who's going to try to be consistent. Now, Strus is having good games now. He's also had some really bad games before. I think Tyler Hero is more of the guy who's a little bit more consistent, so that's why I would try to push him into an even bigger role. But that's just my own personal opinion. Love what I've been seeing from him. So any last thoughts on this game? It's the Pistons. We kind of celebrated a little bit. Went crazy. Adam?
Max played 40 minutes.
Yep.
Tells me everything I need to know, honestly.
He played 40. Duncan played 20.
Too many.
Yep.
I'm just trying to see if they updated his advanced stats.
I normally they don't update until the morning after.
No, they're updated. 6 3-point
Never
attempts
mind.
per game, 41% from three for Max Strus.
Strus?
He's starting to catch Duncan.
Catch. I mean,
he's starting to catch.
He's
Duncan
giving you last year's Duncan.
Attempts in terms of attempts.
Damn.
I mean,
he's chucking them. Wow. Nick Ordonez, do we use the last spot on a big with Dedmon out?
I mean, Cousins is already on the Bucks. He scored 22 points tonight. I mean, he's not finishing, but go figure. Who's available right now in terms of bigs?
They can't sign anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are scared of your seven starting, as sucky as this sounds, you kind of hope that somebody gets COVID on the team.
But someone needs to go lick a toilet or something because
right, so
it is not.
No, you're asking for hepatitis. That's not just COVID.
Whatever gives you the hardship exception.
Oh man.
They have to release Zylan either tonight or tomorrow.
Because of Caleb, right?
Because Caleb's coming.
Oh yeah,
back.
what was the deal with that? Do we know exactly what happened? Because is it just me or did the Heat completely violate protocols today?
I don't know.
That's an interesting question that deserves an investigation.
It deserves internal investigation, not investigation which will get the Heat stripped of a draft pick.
No, they're going to take
What
another
draft pick? They
second-round
stripped
pick that we're
themselves
not
as it
gonna use.
is.
Right. True.
Honestly,
Draft
just
some
take
random
the
dude out of Kentucky.
2023 first and unprotect it, and then we have a deal.
They definitely violated something, but we don't have to talk about that.
I mean, the league watches the games too. They know what's up. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if they're like, man, let's check out the 5 reasons post game. Oh, Gad makes a point. Yeah, let's give them the Joe Smith treatment. No draft picks for the next 6 years. No, it's like
I gotta look up
Joe
Smith real quick.
Oh my god.
But overall about the game, I mean, we didn't really talk much about Yurt, but I felt like, he grew up a little more this game, right? This was another game where we saw a little more moments. He finished around the rim. Even after he got blocked by Trey Lyles, he got back up for that second touch. 12 rebounds tonight. With no Dwayne Dedmon, he's going to have to step up big, and he's going to have to grow up a lot. I think Kyle Lowry is going to continue to help him, right? But he is still raw, so I do still expect him to have moments where we're just like, you should have done this instead of this. But he even had some nice assists where guys were cutting. He was finding them right under the rim, and he was doing that as well. So he's starting to develop little parts and, little bit by little bit more part of his game. And yeah, so outside of who we already talked about, I do want to give a shout out to Yurt because, 12 rebounds, that's also solid. It's solid for him to get 12 rebounds regardless of who's on the floor.
Yeah, and you know what you got to do with raw meat when you want it to develop more? You expose it to heat. You expose it to the fire. And that's exactly what this team is going to have to do because, we can only – Hey, no, it came out wrong, but it is what it is. I mean, yeah, I'm talking about meats at 10:30 at night. Whatever, man. We're X-rated.
It's a Thursday, too.
Yeah, and Christmas Eve is tomorrow night. Noche buena, holla at your boy. But yeah, no,
go.
really, at this point, you're going to have to – gonna have to throw him out there, and if he can handle it, great. If not, well, then we learn something about him. Not everybody can handle it.
Yep.
So
I wholeheartedly agree with that, Ricky. Let's see what we have. It hasn't been perfect, but like Jonathan's been saying for the last few streams, this is development. This is how it happens. Players get reps, and you see what they can become from there. Listen, Gabe Vincent's had to go through development moments where we all wanted him gone, or at least most. Duncan had those moments. Few games in his rookie year.
About Gabe?
Huh?
Have we talked about Gabe?
It's just I feel like what we got from him tonight was just consistent.
15, what was it? 15, 6 and 4, whatever it was, on 4 of 8 or 6 of 8, whatever it was.
He's playing like a solid rotation player. Like, is anyone surprised tonight?
Yeah.
The fact that we're not
15,
ever talking
7
about
and
him
4.
anymore. Like
that's confidence.
You should be all over him.
I expect it's listen, when you have those breakout moments, the expectations go up. This is who he is to me. Until he plays
they have
Florida,
Gabe. They have Gabe and Max Strus under contract for next season.
And bird rights.
And their bird rights. To me, that tells me if you are ever thinking about making a move, no matter how large it is, you are hesitant to include those two in a deal because those two are good rotation pieces that you have locked down for the next 2 years.
Could you consider them championship level role players?
Not yet.
On their contracts?
Not yet.
We're gonna have to see.
Where
Playoffs
would you need to
that.
get to say that?
I need to see the first round of the playoffs.
Okay, so if in early May we win and they play well, can I consider
one of
Gabe
them
Vincent
will be playing? The other won't. Gabe won't see the floor.
The chances are low, but they're never zero, right? So it would take a good first round to say Gabe Vincent's a championship level role player from you?
Well,
no.
Championship is finals and conference finals, right? So,
sure.
And there's one thing we have to talk about too, right?
I'm just asking the question.
T-Mac got out of the first round once.
I need to see a Bryn Forbes type of first round from Max Strus to put him in that tier.
Interesting.
And, we always talk about championship teams having to have players that outplay their contract, right? They don't have to be necessarily championship level players, but if they're outplaying their contracts and supplementing more than what they should have as maybe an 8th or 9th man, that's all we need to ask for them because the top of this roster is constructed very, very well. So if you can get production out of your 9th, out of your 8th man, that's just going to help this team at the bottom end and make this team deeper than it really should be.
Deep. It's crazy we're at that point. Ricky, what was the number one concern with this team going into the season outside of injury?
Age.
Okay. Jonathan, what was the number one concern for this team outside of injury?
Depth.
Adam, do you
The
agree?
answer's
Or
COVID.
Oh
yeah,
my
depth and
God.
shooting.
Just give me the right answer. I'm laying up.
The
A lack
answer's
of
COVID.
culture.
Where's Royal? I miss Royal.
Royals on sabbatical.
Oh my gosh. I hope he's well. Royal, if you're watching this, I hope you're well. We miss
I
you.
mean,
miss you.
I would be too if I were in Cancun.
Anywho, any other words on this game before we get to the next game? Whoever the hell we play.
Well,
We all good
whoever-
here.
Every
Happy to
three,
get the
yeah.
win.
One thing. Every three the Pistons took were wide open. Wide open.
It's fine.
That's a problem. No,
They
that's a
suck
problem.
at threes.
Hasn't that been an issue all season
It's
where
always
Miami
been an issue.
gives up a bunch of threes?
I think it's more of a problem now because they're doubling bigs because they don't have any bigs themselves. So if they're doubling bigs, there are wide open threes to be had for other teams. And I just think that's going to continue now with Deadman out.
Well, with all the injuries, it's always been like live or die by the three, right? Like that's just who we've been over the last 12 or so games.
No, but when it's the other team that's living by the three, you're asking the
desperate.
Heat to match that production by three.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of understood given the circumstances. Like,
Sure. But
we're going to be living or dying by the three until we get our dogs.
If this game turned sour and the Heat lost this game and people just turn to, oh, the Pistons just had a hot night, that's not true at all. The Pistons beat the Heat. It's not that they just got hot out of nowhere. No, they got hot because they were wide open. But that's neither here nor there. They won the game, and we need to move forward.
Adam, you want to get this one?
Somebody.
Who? Oh Lord.
I don't know. I don't know what that comment is. Who is that?
The M
He's
word.
wiped. He's wiped.
I don't know who that is.
Wait.
Right before
Perfect.
Christmas?
Perfect time to bring back Frank Kaminsky. We never signed Frank Kaminsky. He was drafted, I think, after Justice Winslow and ended up in Charlotte and then Portland. So
Who we playing next?
yeah, I don't.
Leave the Orlando Magic on Sunday. Let me
Day after Christmas.
yes.
Man, we're doing great. I love it. I mean, I can just start dancing.
This is a
or something.
royal thing. Okay, we play the Orlando Magic at home on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. So, as we are supposed to ask on this network, Jonathan, is the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good. You know, we're playing the Orlando Magic. I don't even know who's playing for them, honestly. They might still have a COVID situation going on there. I'm not sure what their whole thing is, but the boy feeling good. My only issue is the Magic are a slightly big team. They got a couple of centers, and we're down a couple of centers. So it might be the same recipe for them, right? They might go 08 Orlando Magic, have Dwight Howard, for whoever it is playing in the center, sprayed out to shooters. Like Adam said, we left a lot of shooters open tonight. So the boy feeling good, but we just can't do the same thing we did tonight.
Ricky, the boy feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm concerned about Cole Anthony because he has the ability to just go off in a very disrespectful way. So there's that. I mean, there's that, and of course, like what Ramachan just mentioned, you know, Miami's down a couple bigs. I want to see what's going to happen to Dedmon's knee once the swelling goes down. Hopefully, he's not out for too long. But for this Magic game, you know, Miami theoretically has enough to beat them because they're still the Magic and they're a bit confused. But hey, look, Miami should go and win that game regardless. They're supposed to be the better team. It's pretty much what I said about the Pistons tonight. We're in a weird holding pattern right now where wins and losses will come at random times. But hey, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's nothing crazy with regards to COVID. Let's go get that win. And stay out of protocol.
There we go. There's a caveat. Adam, the boy feeling good?
Sure. I just think that we're going to be playing the same exact game as we played tonight over and over again until we get guys back. It's just going to be the same exact thing. I am scared of their four starters and Robin Lopez. Four of their starters being Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, Gary Harris, and Wendell Carter. I would not be saying Wendell Carter Jr. if we had a serviceable center.
Is he hurt? He was hurt.
No, he played 29 minutes tonight and scored 17 against the Pelicans.
He played tonight?
He played tonight. So
Oh my God.
unfortunately,
Oh no.
I am scared of Wendell Carter kicking it out to Gary Harris, Terrence Ross if he's playing Cole Anthony. I just think they also have some length. So we need to be wary of that. I do think that the Heat will pull out the win, but it just feels very reminiscent of tonight's game, where it's going to be live or die by the three. There's going to be some shaky moments, and it'll come down to the wire.
UD going for 20 rebounds. Hashtag OG. that would be a beautiful thing. So the Orlando Magic.
They look scary now. They look scary.
I didn't know Wendell Carter was going to be playing. That changes the math a little bit. Robin Lopez probably going to have his first 30-point game maybe ever. Yes, he was wheelchaired off the court, Wendell Carter, last time we played them. So good for him. I guess he's healthy. The
Heat gonna blow this shit out.
I can't take Royal's line.
Somebody has to do it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
We have enough. Okay, the Heat are gonna blow that shit out. All right, we're gonna win by a marginal 3 points, but it's gonna be fun while we're up the entire game. We're gonna live or die by the three. We're gonna be living. Duncan's gonna hit 5 threes next game. 5 threes, and everyone's gonna be going crazy. Ricky's gonna tell us that we're wrong, and we're gonna move on next game. Hopefully,
Caleb Martin's gonna come back. PJ Tucker is
I'm gonna be right.
come back. Markieff Morris is gonna have a new neck by then.
Zylan Cheatham breakout game. That's what I'm feeling. Okay,
He's gonna get released tomorrow.
Duncan Robinson breakout game.
bring him
Yeah,
back on a
you mean
one day. Let him
break out
retire
out
with
of this
the Heat.
team or
What'd you say, Ricky?
what?
Ignore him.
Boo this.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
So,
Mhm.
shout out everybody in the comments. Shout out Jonathan Ramlakan. Shout out Ricky J. Mark. Shout out Adam Barai making a special guest. Adam, are we going to be seeing more of you now that
From this angle too? I was jarring at first. I was like,
No,
whoa.
this time next week, I only make one appearance a week. I will be in a different spot next week, so I'll see you guys then.
Okay. Very interesting. Shout out Royal in the background. I know everyone misses Royal. I miss Royal. Royal, he's a grown man. He's got grown man shit to do. So just be patient. The host will be back. Don't worry. We're just we're trying to do our best here. And everybody in the comments, thank you. Thank the Miami Heat for winning a game before Christmas. Everybody
Yes,
have a happy
thank you.
holidays. Stay safe. Adam,
I got
night,
one
Michelle.
more thing.
one more thing.
Clutch Corner will be coming back next week, and I will have information on the team.
What's Wednesday's date? Do we know? Is it like the 28th?
If there's a game, then no. Wednesday is the
29th.
29th.
29th. Okay, Wednesday 29th. Bookmarked. Easy. I'll be there listening in the comments.
There is a game.
That's fine. That ain't no problem. All right. So, Jonathan, play the video.
I'm hungry.
Jimmy Buckets! Clutch time! Tyler Hero, what a finisher he's become.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh! That's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.